Greetings, vloggers, bloggers, followers, and potters. Dustin here from Dustin's Dynasty with the second half of this week's vlogs. And I know I'm late. Please forgive me. I haven't been myself for a week. I've been better, but it's been a challenging week. And so this today is what I did have I thought I would have a challenging day, and it wasn't so challenging. And today it's much better, and it's much better now that I experienced it. But part of that, in interacting with peers, colleagues, coworkers, that sort of thing, sometimes differences in values and differences of thought and differences in behavior of others and personality types can be a challenge. And as part of National Disability Awareness, Employment Awareness Month, that's a common thing in offices that can cause people to leave or cause people to want to leave, so on and so forth. So today I want to talk about responding versus react and how to keep your cool, because a lot of people, on the disability spectrum, have a hard time managing their cool when they're on the job and things don't go the way, either they don't want them to go, or they don't happen the way that they think they can, or something comes out of their control and are unable to control the way they feel or control the way they react to something. So it's all about, and it's a good therapy skill because I've learned it over the last few years and it's helped me greatly. And I thought I need to share it with my community. It's a very good tool. It's called Respond versus React. They're similar, but the difference is responding and reacting in stressful situations it's a profound thing. And I know that because when interacting with others, and this includes family, it can definitely be a challenge sometimes to keep your cool, or especially if you have different views or feel entitled, or whatever you feel, or you think you feel entitled but really you're not. And how you react is a big thing. You need to respond, in a way that's calm and dignified and cordial, as opposed to being reactive about something and just, reacting at it. The difference between the two lies in a deep breath, a pause, a brief moment of mindful pressure. The moment can make a difference between sending the entire situation into, or relationship soaring into greater heights, or falling down a slippery slope. Those are true. Um, let's take a closer look at what the phrase respond versus react represents and learn some tools to help you navigate the respond to life circumstances, because I feel it is a big thing, and it's a really nice and big thing to do. So reactions are instinctual. They're the way you grown up with, and as people, including myself on the autism spectrum, I feel that, being that way, or, that was how we were grown to respond, to react to things when we didn't get our way, or act like that spoiled little child that is still in our bodies, even though we don't want to be that way. And they could stem from a subconscious mind, really. And the filtering process, as many people on the people who need less supports, who are able to vocalize and speak what they need to speak, it can react to a situation that you're on autopilot, basically. And when you react, you say things without thinking first, and that's a common trait in those, and with the people who need less skills with autism, who need more of the social skills, the social construct, that you just let it out. And I've done it many times, and recently it's taught me a lot of lessons about myself in life. It's taught me what I need to do to improve my health, my well-being, my mental health, my behavioral health, things of that nature. So it's like, it's just one of those things. Responses, however, in contrast, are more thoughtful. When you respond, you first explore in your mind the possible outcomes of your reply before saying a word. You may weigh the pros and the cons. You may consider what is best for yourself and others in that given situation. You may also, they're more like well-trained or well-behaved dog, whereas reactions are more of that feisty little dog that just doesn't give up. And there's, if we only respond with bark after bark after bark, but then there's one who, a responsive dog is one who just responds. So would you rather be the type of leader who creates a calm and happy environment for those around you, like the well-behaved dog, or would you like to be kind of the leader that is the wild card and unpredictable, and and that was who I was being a couple weeks ago, about 2 months ago. I was being this very unpredictable person, and I blamed a lot of things for it. But then I realized I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing. I'm taking my medicine, but there's still things I need to work on. And I did work on those things. And, even though the other person or the other party may not want to, counteract, may not want to, do their part, I still have to do my part, because in the eye of my peers, I need to be who I need to be for them. So sometimes, you have to be mindful, and present. You can notice when something triggers you. You may need to take a walk. You may need to step away, and you may need to add that pause. You may need to have that layer of observation, space, mindfulness, whatever you want to call it. And to that moment when you're triggered, or, the difference between strengthening or breaking a relationship. And that has happened between, a colleague, an employee, a neighbor, when walking away, when feeling supported or disregarded. The space can mean a few deep breaths as you allow reaction to fade and give a balance to return. Or it can mean taking a day or a week to cool down and reduce the charge of the emotional response. And sometimes that charge can resist if you know it's returning, or you have to get close to that again. And it can be a struggle. It can be anxiety driven, it really can. It's just how you think about it. Um, Sometimes you act on anger, or something you didn't mean, or something you regretted. um if sometimes if you have, it fades with time, and after you step back, you are no longer charged. But it's just you need to, because emotions aren't static, and they come and go, and you need to be ready. Oftentimes when we hear something we don't like or is unexpected in some way, the natural tendency to get defensive or judge a situation is quick, and we can't always judge a situation because we don't know what it is. um, this is a natural tendency and of the human mind to run on a pilot. It's common, and we just want to let out what we want to let out without thinking who it hurts or who it damages. um, as little as 30 milliseconds, and it can happen because I've been there. It's definitely something. So you need to create a short pause before responding, and it triggers, the things that you can course. And somebody came up with an acronym, to help their individuals come up with, and I'll share the link in my description of when we notice trigger. So we need to, it's called PLACE, PLACE. So we're going to start with P, and that is pause. As soon as you notice yourself becoming triggered, take a breath. For example, let's say you get cut off on the highway, or somebody says something hurtful. That's road rage. And so you need to take a breath. You need to label, you need to know, you need to label your reaction. What are you feeling? Or is it frustration, insecurity, something else? Is it because you're hurt or whatever, for getting cut off or angry? And then next thing is A, ask yourself why. What triggered that situation? Was it the event? Could have been related to a previous judgment, could have been a common trigger. Um, you need to bring awareness to that, and you need to, your common triggers, or what is your blind spot? It's something below the surface usually. That's what it is. So it isn't usually being cut off. It's usually that you're late for something, or you don't have time to spare, and we go into that react or response, and we can't do that when we're on the road. And for somebody who wants to think about being a person behind the wheel, such as myself, that can be a very challenging situation. And sometimes it's the reason why many autistics don't drive, because they're afraid of reacting quickly, or not having enough response time. So is it because we have to be somewhere and we're late? and you need to choose a C, you need to choose a skillful response. And this is where the critical step comes in. It's all about where the magic happens in the process. You need to take a step back and consider what matters most in that situation. What is the goal? Can it be, how can we respond in a productive way? What will make me close to my goal? It's just things like that. And, it's just, how will you let it go if you have to let it go? Keep yourself attentive. E, empower yourself. Empower yourself to move forward from a place that, you can invite to a healthier, more ecological outcome and more awareness than everybody deserves. You are building that self-resolve capacity, strengthening like a muscle. And, it's not easy to take practice. And it takes practice, it does, because it's been over years. And sometimes we do have our flaws and we make a blow up and we make a mistake. We can't, always see that, but the goal is to decrease the amount of time you are reactive and recover quickly and get back on, life and not be on autopilot. The faster you can acknowledge that you're triggered, the faster you'll be able to regulate your nervous system and get back on track. As with anything in life, it does take practice. Learn to respond versus react is a continual process, and I've learned that too. It's just it's just it's a very hard thing. So when we are not present and we aren't stressed out, we are caught up in what is more difficult, and to choose our response, we can easily lose your boundary between landscape and context around us. When you are mindfully present, you'll have to access the space between your trigger and the response. And that is, just one thing. And there's a quote here from Viktor Frankl, and he wasn't the actual author, but it is attributed to him. Between stimulus and our response, there is a space, and in this space is our power to choose between our response. And in our response, it lies our growth and our freedom. So I want to say that is the bottom line is you have a choice. You can be stressful or you can choose either to respond or react. You can't do both simultaneously though. And, basically which would you choose? So with that, I want to thank you for listening. As always, you can like this video if you want, or you can subscribe to tap a notification bell for more videos to come across. I usually do videos every on the weekends, but I got behind this week. We had a lot of busy things going on, so that's why I'm doing it the last minute here on the Wednesday night. But I do thank you for watching. As always, be sure to like me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at Dustin's Dynasty, Pinterest, TikTok at Dustin's Dynasty ASD, and on the web at DustinsDynastyUSA.com. I want to thank you for listening today and have a good week, everyone.